On this episode of Cox Connections, the Fairfax County Public Library has a wealth of resources for the entire community. Whether you're a student, a parent, an avid reader, or just curious about one particular thing, the library has you covered. We'll hear about some of their programs and the importance of early literacy. And later, the Virginia Black History Month Association celebrates the contributions of African Americans with great events and scholarships. We'll learn about what's in store at this year's big celebration in Fredericksburg later this month. And finally, the town of Vienna is celebrating its 125th anniversary. Find out what this community with small town charm and big city amenities is doing to mark the milestone. Stay tuned, Cox Connections is next. Hello and welcome to Cox Connections. I'm your host, Catherine Falk, Vice President of Public and Government Affairs for Cox, Virginia, and I'm filling in for J.D. Myers. The Fairfax County Public Library is such a wonderful resource with programs and educational support for citizens of all ages and backgrounds. Here to talk about some of their programs are Ted Kavich, Manager of Programs, and Jane Giordando, Early Literacy Assistant. Ted and Jane, thanks for being here.
Thanks for inviting us.
Thanks for having us.
Ted, talk about the Fairfax County Public Library system. You have a lot of branches and
We
lot of programs.
We do. We're the largest library system in the South. We have 22 branches, and at all of our branches there's programming for all ages, from preschool up through older adults, all different kinds of opportunities for people to go to events at the library. And also there's chances for lifelong learning for people of all ages to be informed and educated as well as entertained by coming to the library.
So what kind of programs, I know we're going to talk about children, but what do you have for older adults as well?
For older adults, book clubs are a popular kind of program for older adults. Consumer information programs, health information programs are all popular.
Terrific. I know you also have a lot of programs for early learners, and we were going to talk about that. I'm a mom of a preschooler myself. Tell us about the programs for early learners.
Sure.
And story time.
Yeah, these are the story times at our branches. Every branch offers some story times. Some offer many story times depending on the size of the branch. And these are really fun events where the staff member will read, they'll do songs and finger plays and things like this for the kids, the preschoolers, along with an adult, with an adult parent or caregiver there with them. And our staff are trained in early literacy techniques, which Jane will talk about soon. So they're teaching the kids at the same time that they're having a good time together. So the
But
kids
it's not drop-off daycare, you got to stay with your child.
Yes, the parent comes in, and that's also good because then the parent is seeing the staff member model a good story time, which is great too.
Terrific. And Jane, tell us, you're doing a lot of outreach around the early learning topic. Tell us about that.
Yeah, what we do is we basically bring the library out to children, and we go to Head Start classrooms and child care centers, and now I've started going to some family child cares where people are providing daycare right in their homes. And this way we can bring a library story time out to children that might not get to the library for a story time. And when we come, we also bring them a book. This month we're bringing Bear Snores On, and the funding for the books is provided by the Library Foundation. So we put a book in every child's hand and we give them a lovely story time experience. And we provide, I think, about 175 story times on average a month. There's some staff members, 5 of us, and then there's 25 volunteers who are trained to go out and give these early literacy story times. So it's great. And the other thing that we do, the staff does, is we offer a monthly training to child care providers. And that's another part of our outreach efforts, is we want to get out there and show them some of the latest books that are in the library. The topics are pretty much suggested by the providers. So we get a topic that they're interested in learning more about, and then we draw on the early literacy skills that they could teach children with this topic, and then books. We show them a lot of books that they can use also to reinforce the topics.
Great. And what are those skills, those early learning skills that children need to be prepared to go into kindergarten?
Well, some of the early literacy skills that there are about 5 early literacy skills, and that's basically early literacy is what children know before they actually learn to read and write. And so the first one, of course, we want to share with children is a love of reading. Because if they don't have the motivation to read, it's going to be hard for them to try and learn to read. So we want to impart that and read with them as much as you can. And then you want to give them some letter awareness that, you know, our language is made up of different letters that have different names and a sound associated. So you can do things like we do the bingo song, you know, so B-I-N-G-O. That really helps with letter awareness. And we can take any topic and come up with some 5-letter word and craft a bingo song around it. And then we like to teach them some phonological awareness, which is rhyming words or beginning sounds and syllables. So you can do that, you know, just playing rhyming word games with your children. And then we like to also give them book awareness, that here's the cover of the book, and we turn the pages like this, and we read top to bottom, left to right, just to take away some of the mystery of reading so that when they go to school, they have this nice foundation.
That's great. And it's important to start reading even to babies, right?
Yeah. You can't start too soon, I don't think, to read. Especially when they're babies, they're kind of your captive audience, and you can read what you really enjoy reading. And then when they get older, you really need to take your cue from your child. And you know your child best, you know what they like and what they don't like. So you can find books, and when they're toddlerish, you know, let them turn the pages, and when they start to lose interest, it's time to stop for a little while and maybe pick it up later. Yeah. So
some of our branches actually offer story times for kids birth to such and such months old with parent, like 13 months to 23 months with parent, things like that.
That's great. And where can people find out more about story times, the programs, how to volunteer?
Our website's a great place to start. It's a wealth of information. We have a link to the volunteer system where you can look for volunteer opportunities. We have links to our catalog to search for books and place holds on books. We have ebooks folks can browse and check out, and all kinds of information and resources. For example, for parents and caregivers of preschoolers, we have great resources on our website.
An early literacy tab right on the website where you can find book lists by age or by theme and other. We do every other month a ready to read newsletter with some interesting early literacy topics, and we always put out what's new in children's picture books every month.
Right.
Great. And what's the website?
It's fairfaxcounty.gov/library.
Terrific. Well, Ted Kavich, Program Manager, Fairfax County Public Libraries, and Jane Giordano, the Early Literacy Assistant. Thanks so much for joining us today to hear more about the Fairfax County Libraries.
You're welcome. Thank you.
You're welcome. Thanks.
And coming up, Fredericksburg played an important role in our nation's civil rights movement. Find out how the Virginia Black History Month Association is honoring the legacy of an often overlooked civil rights leader. Stay tuned for more Cox Connections.